Stop chasing. Look, it's Marcel, aka Honey Bunny Sunny. You know I'm on a mission to make you some money. Listen, today I got a good one for you, okay? I know everybody is up in arms right now because the market is falling. Rewind 2 days ago, the market was falling. What do we do, Marcel? Is the market going to continue falling? Should I sell everything? Are we going into a bear market? Listen, in this video, I'm going to break down exactly what's taking place so that you guys can understand what to look out for so that you don't get caught up. This time of year, right? This happens 5-6 times a year, maybe 10, right? Just depends on the year that we're having, right? But somewhere between 5 and 10 times this happens where there's this huge sweep and everything that you've worked for, you lose. Let's stop right there. I'm gonna get right back to that point. If it's your first time seeing my face and being on this channel, welcome. Get into the videos, get yourself educated. My goal here is to get you up to speed on how to trade options so that you can live free, right? So that you can make some more money, put some money away so that you can live the life that you desire, right? And that's up to you to decide. I'm just here to give you the tools, give you the mindset, the emotional intelligence, right? The psychology you need to be successful in this game that everybody wants to be profitable in. All right, now back to it. Don't lose your money during a time like this, right? I'm not saying just completely sell out of everything and just burn it all. No, what I'm saying is understand different levels so that you can understand when you'll have to make those decisions. I will preface this video by saying that there definitely is some downside that's on the horizon. Definitely some downside, and maybe a little more than any of us want because of how some of us may be positioned in the stock market. It's things that happen, but you got to have a longer term outlook. There definitely will be a pullback. There's no way that the market can just continue to the upside without having any sort of pullback. So I'm not going to waste your time. I know it's precious. I'm going to get right into it, right? So I'm about to pull up this SPY chart and give you a breakdown of exactly what's happening in the market and what you can watch for, okay? So give this just a few moments to pop up. All right, so I got SPY pulled up right here, and I'm looking at SPY on the daily time frame, okay? I'm looking at SPY on a daily time frame. The past 2 days, SPY fell the same level. If you can see right here, SPY fell the same level on Tuesday and Wednesday. Today, it took a dive, right? It's down 1% currently. I'm making this video around 10 a.m. on the West Coast, right? So it's currently down about 1%. And it's looking like it wants to come down a little bit more. Now, if you're looking at it just strictly on the daily, it looks like it could possibly bounce right in this area right here because we are sitting right at the 9 EMA. And, you know, we're also sitting at a previous high that it broke through. So, you know, this could possibly be a retest, but I'm going to show you in just a second the more likely scenario. So optimistically, this is a retest. We continue higher and, you know, and we go higher for a little bit of time before finally coming back. But the inevitable is that we do have to come back, right? I'm gonna show you why. So we have, firstly, these order blocks, right? So I've told you all about the order blocks. If you have not watched my order block video, please go and check it out. These are 3 order blocks, right? So these are 3 levels that institutions are sitting at that they wanna purchase it. So smart money is sitting in these areas, and major decisions will be made whenever SPY comes down to this area. But what's a little more alarming is these guys right here, right? So this is a gap that needs to be filled on SPY. This is another gap that needs to be filled on SPY. This is an even bigger gap that needs to be filled on SPY. And we're talking about all the way down into the 500s. Now, if you're looking at SPY right now, slightly pulled back at 669, you may not be able to like even fathom it possibly coming down to the 500s, but I'm telling you, it's a pretty strong chance that it's going to happen. But at that point, we will absolutely be in a bear market just because of how high it's come. Now, I want to take a moment to kind of like get you guys to understand what's taking place right now. We're pulling back into what's called a correction, right? Markets have corrections and they have bear markets, right? These are pullbacks and even stronger pullbacks, but it's just a way to balance things out, right? Whenever supply and demand reaches a point where we think things are too expensive, then they have to come back down to size, right? So a correction is simply defined as like 10% of a pullback. So when we're talking about the market at large, we're talking about SPY, we're talking about QQQ, right? These indexes are encompassing the biggest companies on the market in terms of technology. So when we are referring to the market, it's typically SPY or QQQ. So let's take this ruler tool, and we're going to start from the most recent high and come down to see where correction territory is. So right now, we have pulled back about 3% from our highs, right? This is really important to understand this. So we have about a 7% potential drop that's on the horizon to bring us into what would be called correction territory. Okay, correction territory is about 10%, and it can be anywhere from 10 to 20% because it's at 20% that a bear market would ensue if we were to get, a daily or weekly close into that and actually continue down, right? So 20% is the start of a bear market, 10% to about 20% is the range of a correction. Okay, so we're currently pulled back about 3%. Now, if we come down to this first order block, that'll be about 6%. This next order block is about 7%. It's that final order block where we finally hit 10% correction. So we're talking about coming down all the way to about 620 before we enter correction territory. That is a deadly drop, and this is where people get scooped up, right? You could be doing really well the entire year, right? You could have been following your strategy, doing everything that you're supposed to do, but it's these times that happen, like I said, somewhere between like 5 and 10 times a year where you get these major swings to the downside, right? That just completely blow up every technical, everything that you were plotting, and now you got to go into this space where you got to rethink your whole plan. And I know exactly the feeling of doing that and it wiping out all your hard-earned capital, right? All the things that you did right. So I'm trying to give you this, guys, like ahead of time so that you can avoid it, right? This is a time in the market where you want to kind of be hands off. Now, here's what can also happen, right? Because we can never 100% predict the market. There could also be a major bounce here. And this could be a fake out to discourage people from catching that, right? But we don't want to bet on that. We want to play it safe, right? The whole game of investing is being able to survive it, right? If you can survive the windstorms, then you'll be poised to be able to purchase at levels down in bear market territory. But if you're getting beat up and chewed up during the bear market, during the correction, then you don't have the capital to take advantage of the opportunities when they get down there. So it's two ways to look at things. You can look at the glass as half empty or half full. So you can look at something coming down as, oh man, this stock market shit doesn't work. Or you can look at it as, oh my God, this thing just provided the most beautiful opportunity for me to build my wealth. I just have to be smart on the way down. I just have to make sure that I'm not trying to force my will on the market, right? You can't have ego in this game. I know you might see some people flashy on the internet from a lifestyle perspective, but the market will humble the most cocky, arrogant person in the world. I don't care what you think your skill set is, the market will humble you. It will have you thinking that you're a genius like one day and then completely snatch that confidence away from you. So when I see setups like this, when I see that there's a bearish engulfing on the daily, and then we got these 3 order blocks sitting right here that is essentially trying to pull this into correction territory, I'm leaving the upside alone for a second. It's also just recently broke below the 9 EMA, which is another critical level on the daily. Now I'm about to show you on the weekly. Let me turn this off real quick. I'll get back to the measuring tool in a second. Let's go to the weekly. The weekly is an even uglier situation, right? The weekly is showing an engulfing on the week, meaning that the entire week next week could be bearish, right? Bringing us down to like 650, possibly down here to the 9 EMA on the weekly, which is sitting around 628, right? It could get very, very ugly. All right. You don't, if you're in a position and it's not, and it's going against you, this is not the time to exercise patience. Like, oh, I'll just hold on. No, you need to abort the mission, right? If you are down like around your, because first of all, you should already know what your stop loss is before you get in. But if you're down around that, it may be a good time to just go ahead and cut it, because one more night's rest, you could wake up to the rest being gone. You know what I mean? The rest of your money being gone. So it's important to understand this, right? So we got the reversal here on the weekly, and this is a confirmation candle. There's only one more day left in the week, right? Don't let that Friday don't let the Friday, which is tomorrow, be the confirmation day that takes all your money and you can't invest when it gets down here. That's the whole point of it. It's like, we're going to come and whip you out of a position, but when you're not even paying attention, so that when the buying is good, we get to take advantage of it. Us institutions get to take advantage of it. And, you know, you inexperienced trader, you know, we're taking your money. That's essentially what it's doing. It's just legal robbery. So we don't want to be victims of robbery. We want to make sure that we are in a cash position to make sure that we can take advantage. All right. If this closes bearish on Friday, you bet your bottom dollar we are going into a correction. It's just that simple. Now, what a lot of people obviously a lot of bears are starting to say is that it's looking like this could be the start of the bear market. I don't believe that it's going to happen. I just believe that we'll have some sort of end of year run up, but also with the jobs the way they are, things are changing very quickly, and how we were able to predict the market so tactfully in the past because of historical months, we're starting to see that a lot of these months are starting to make historic, records to the opposite side. So it's not a guarantee that we'll get a run up in crypto or the stock market by the end of the year. But like I said, it's your job to survive this so that you can take advantage of it when it gets down, because it will eventually go back up. The stock market is just designed to go up, but you have to time it so that you're not getting caught up in the corrections in the bear market, right? So this is what you want to watch for. A close tomorrow bearish. Make sure that you're just in a cash position and everything, right? If you got leaps out 2 years, if you have a 5-year outlook, 2+ year outlook on your equities, don't worry too much about that. You'll see fluctuation happen with your portfolio. I'm talking about specifically people that are in options, right? And swinging, a couple of days or a couple of weeks. You do not want to get caught up in this. It is going to get ugly. Okay. So I'm gonna cut this off. That's SPY. Again, remember that 10% is a correction, 10 to 20%, that range is a correction, and then 20% and below is a bear market. And most bear markets last, on average about 9 months. But because this particular one has been being put off for so long, and we're getting all this like fake information pumped into the economy, fake data pumped into the economy, it's causing a very weird dynamic of just like this delay. And we know what happens when something takes a long time to actually break through. Whenever there's a delay and something is just teeter-tottering at a level, poking that level, eventually when it finally breaks, it breaks hard, right? So this could possibly be a longer bear market if we get into one, and it could possibly be a deeper one. So I just want y'all to be, very cautious of that so that you can survive and take advantage essentially of that particular, opportunity that's going to be presented. Like when SPY is down 20-30%, that's an opportunity because other stocks, right? Because SPY moves slower than the actual stocks, right? So a Palantir may be down 40% while SPY is down like 20% or 15%. right? So there are going to be even bigger opportunities in individual stocks, but you got to have the money. So what I would recommend doing in this time is trying to earn extra money, sell some things if you can, lower your expenses. You want to make sure that you're in a good cash position. Also, don't take a ton of trades. Only take the most beautiful trades, the most obvious trades, right? You don't have to do 3-5 trades a day. You can bring it down to one. There's going to be a lot of tricks that are on the horizon, things that you've never seen before, especially if you've only been trading about a year or 2 years. There are things that happen in cycles that are longer than a year, longer than 2 years, right? There are sector rotations. There are all types of things that happen when a market is exhausted that you have never seen before and can completely trick you out of what you think you know about trading. All right, I'm here because I want y'all to, be around, right? I don't want trading to be like this thing that you stop at because you got caught up. So I'm trying to give you guys like a fair warning so that you can understand what's shaping up. It may not happen tomorrow, but it is on the horizon, right? There's too many things to the downside that got to get cleaned up. All right. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I hope this video was helpful. If you need a trading community, the Prosperity Collective is the only option in my opinion, right? We got people that are profiting every single day because of the trades that we are calling out, the education that we have in the group, right? You don't have to be an experienced trader or have any sort of financial background. We have a full course that's over 7 hours that's going to give you the information that you need to be a successful trader. And then once you take that course, right, you hop on a live trade with us. You know how to take our trades. You learn from the people in the community. You'll be well on your way to making profits. All right. I appreciate you guys. I love you all. Remember, invest smart, live free. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.